What is up, everybody? To Reverse TV here today, and there is never a dull day of Sony fanboy nonsense just spewed on social media. So apparently, the only games that matter are first-party titles in these Sony fanboys' opinions. When it's like they just trash Xbox exclusives, trash major third-party games, which most people are playing third-party multi-platform games, but in this guy's opinion, only PlayStation and Nintendo are the only companies left that care to provide actual games people want to play. Yes, they dabble in other areas, but the core experiences have not been put to the wayside. If that ever happens for Nintendo or PlayStation, the industry is finished. So the industry just can't go without Nintendo or PlayStation. It's like, wow, they just don't stop with the nonsense. The nonsensical tweets, they just don't stop with it. So PlayStation, their recently released game has been a remaster of a remaster of a remaster. They want to describe as a remake. Most people are calling it a cash grab. Even big YouTubers calling them out. I've even seen big YouTubers call them something out as well. So I guess they don't care about not being sensitive because they say, hey, they pretty much call it how it is. Call the game a cash grab. But it's one of the main standards we have to strive for with being an Xbox fan, or even Nintendo. They recently released Splatoon 3, and if you put Splatoon 3 side by side with Splatoon 2, I probably couldn't tell you the difference. They look exactly identical. They look very similar. So that's the industry standard right there. It's like, when are they going to stop with these narratives that only exclusives matter and you're going to trash on every third party multi-platform game in existence? It's just weird behavior. Why can't you just like PlayStation and let that be that? Why do you have to make these dumb narratives that only PlayStation or Nintendo bring amazing games? Well, that's not true. So let's see what other people have to say about this, because it's just like, wow at this point. So this guy says he 100% agrees. This guy says this is such a wrong opinion, especially given how big and broad the actual market is. Yeah, it truly is, because there's so many great games out there. I guess he doesn't know Microsoft is a software company and the gaming side isn't their biggest source of income like Sony and Nintendo. Microsoft can survive without Xbox. Can Sony or Nintendo survive without their gaming side? Kids, just say no to drugs. Because obviously the guy who posted this, he has to be under the influence of something to make a post like that. Cap again? I swear y'all should be tired of this hat shaking my head. The mobile market is way bigger than consoles. I mean, it is kind of true. Like, you be honest, almost everybody on Earth has a smartphone. So, I mean, it's true. But who really plays? I mean, I guess people play smartphone games like that. But the hardcore gamer don't really care about mobile games like that. I mean, like, sure, I dibbled and dabbled in some smartphone games in the past, but it's not like that's like a mainstay for a hardcore gamer. It's like, this guy says, big facts, man. Nintendo is so big that people buy Steam Decks just to play Nintendo games like 60 FPS. I guess, whatever. Nintendo is the opposite of consumer friendly. They could be as big as Xbox and PlayStation, but because they're too stubborn to invest in actual good hardware, which I wish they would do, to be honest. It's like, why do I have to play your games at this suboptimal settings for modern gaming? It's like, I understand you want to do the whole handheld market, but a lot of people my age and older just want to play the stuff at home. I don't see the appeal of taking a device with me, a game device with me, to play outside of my house. It's like most people just don't play the game at home. They want to be the at least up to modern standards for graphics and performance at this point. It's like, we're not asking for a lot. You just want like the bare minimum for Nintendo at this point. But Nintendo gets away with just doing the least for the subpar hardware at this point. And they still sell like hotcakes, which is just ridiculous. Not sure I can agree with this when I find myself enjoying Nintendo's output less and less as the years go on. A lot of IPs I care about have been abandoned, F-Zero, Star Fox, etc. And my Switch can go months between uses right now. Preach, the industry has been trashed for years, with Sony and Nintendo being the saving grace for me. Okay, that's an interesting opinion. Then why are so many people begging for Xbox to bring Starfield to PlayStation? Or Call of Duty, for that matter. People are having a hissy fit of Call of Duty, which might be an Xbox exclusive, for that game to stay multi-plat. I'm like, if PlayStation and Nintendo are all you need, then why are you complaining then about these other games being exclusives or multi-platform? Not true. You are talking purely as a console gamer, which, as usual, is short-sighted. Mobile is where the most money is. Yeah, I kind of have to agree with that. Like, I see it as a real casual market, but I see a lot of people probably making a lot of money off mobile gaming in general. Because people don't only play hardcore games or they play games on a cell phone, like Candy Crush, all those super casual games that has to generate a lot of revenue. Or even like that Pokemon Go when that was a craze. That was like a big mobile game. So I definitely see the mobile market is definitely a big moneymaker. It's unfortunate because Nintendo is the most anti-consumer of the three, yet provides some of the best and quality games, while Xbox, being the most pro-consumer of the three, struggle to deliver. I mean, what's the purpose of them providing some of the best quality? They want to say it's the best quality games, but you got to play on sub quality hardware, like sub quality modern hardware at that. It's like, really. I just kind of wish like Nintendo would just just do the bare minimum for like modern sake, modernity. I don't guess like modern sake is the word you want to use here. It's like, why is just Nintendo just so far behind the hardware department? Like, jeez. You still got first party games on Nintendo that can barely hit like 60 FPS. They're not even doing the best graphics. This was crazy with Nintendo right now. That sounds like you lack gaming history. Microsoft has done a lot for the indie scene, where the most innovations have come from recently. They've had some of arcade to highlight them as well. They also push for broadband, while others were trying to make 56K work. I could go on. Okay. Interesting. If that was the case, I don't think we would be seeing so much drama coming from Sony. each and every few days or a week, there's like some new drama or controversy with Sony. So, man, these PlayStation dudes are always so funny. Thank God we have the data to show otherwise. Yeah, because they claim that the exclusives are all that matters, and most people don't even buy these Sony exclusives like that, which is kind of like, it's just hilarious. They cap so much for these exclusives that their audience don't buy. They're most likely buying NBA 2K, Fortnite, or FIFA or Call of Duty. Statements like this it will never matter. Someone will come along and provide some type of video games, whether you like it or not. Will just be a us problem. As God says, the companies I prefer are the ones that care. Now that's a bad take. First off, Sony is the only one of the big three that hasn't moved gaming forward or did something that everyone copied. Kind of true when you think about it. I don't know what would people copy off Sony. I don't think any company has really copied off Sony. Well, Sony just copies off other companies. I mean, that is kind of true. Like, I don't see Microsoft copying off Sony or Nintendo copying off Sony. I just see Sony copying off everybody else. Nintendo saved gaming in the 80s. Xbox ushered in modern gaming, the FPS genre, and online infrastructure, and pretty much achievements, and Game Pass pretty much, and a quick resume. Xbox has done a lot for the industry that's progressed it, while Sony has just done nothing else but other than raise prices. So I kind of agree with this comment right here. Oh, they're the only ones investing in VR. I mean, I guess you can give them that, but it's like, I mean, I guess there you go. Sony invested in VR, which is like, that's a super niche genre right there. It's like, I don't care about VR. I don't care about VR at all. I said that in previous multiple videos at this point, and I just don't care. But, you know, I guess you could say they're innovating in VR at this point. These dudes are really hurting over Microsoft doing business. Yeah. The post is about PlayStation and Nintendo, yet you have Xbox fanatics over here crying. Yes, because he doesn't mention Xbox literally. We know who he's referring to when he says only PlayStation and Nintendo is doing something for the industry. So who is he not talking about? Xbox. So it's obviously a shot at Xbox. You don't have to be a genius to figure that out. Never go full pony, face palm. So they says he's in a denial stage, pretty much. Y'all write a lot. Well, y'all can just say that you hate Xbox to save time. They really can at this point. Just say that. uh, 0 days without nonsense. 100% facts. Sony and Nintendo have been the only ones putting out the most games this year. Prove me wrong. I mean, so that's the only bar of standards that you put out the most games each year. What if those games are like those trash games that was on the PSN store that they just recently had to remodel their whole store because it was an abundance of just random shovelware crap like Taco Dancing or Taco Man or whatever type of random crap they had on the store. So, I mean, I'm not really sure. It's like just because they put out the most games doesn't mean anything. It can be like some real trash games. Oh, the hurt in this tweet. Yeah, you gotta be really bothered by Xbox to make a tweet like this. Like, what? Xbox makes games that are just as good, bro. If it wasn't for Xbox taking the lead, we wouldn't have crossplay or cloud gaming as well as Game Pass Ultimate, which gives both go and goal saving money in the long run. Yeah. Nintendo is worse than Xbox on many levels. Switch has no games. They are a port machine. Even the Precious Breath of the Wild is a Wii U port. Mario Kart is a Wii U port. Splatoon is a Wii U port. Yet Jim and the ponies cry for those sweet Xbox games by the FTC and other regulatory bodies. A lot of grown people crying over this tweet. Okay, you got Jim Ryan standing over a tombstone of PlayStation. Okay, interesting. Yeah, some of these tweets are kind of wild. Like, they're going kind of crazy with some of these tweets right now. This is actually a dumb statement through and through. Ubisoft has sold more copies of the new Assassin's Creed and Far Cry games than ever in the last 2 years. People are willing to pay out yearly for sports games from EA and 2K. This is a you with your taste, not an industry problem. I agree 100%. PlayStation and Nintendo are the cornerstones of gaming. Remove them and everything falls. How true is that really? Like, I'm pretty sure the people who probably watch my channel, the hardcore gamers, probably aren't playing on Nintendo like that, to be honest. Like, sure, Nintendo has some great games, so I'm not trying to discredit Nintendo as a whole, but are we really playing, like, Nintendo Switch like that, to be honest? If you're, like, 30 and older, like, you might have one to play the occasional game on there, but I don't know. I mean, I don't see the average person, like, going crazy with Nintendo games. I think it's mostly aimed for small children, to be honest. And then PlayStation, most people are playing on what most people are clamoring for on PlayStation, while they want to get a PS5 so badly, is to play multi-plat games. So it's like, are they really the cornerstones of gaming, as this guy states? Nintendo doesn't give an F to anyone but themselves. We are nothing more than money to them. Same with Sony too. I don't know why you're lying. Pretty weird if you ask me. It used to be just PlayStation for y'all. Add Nintendo as well must be a sign of admitting defeat. Seriously, can these guys read and understand the amount of games Xbox has in development? And they completely forget last year. In 4 months, they will never be able to say this again. Pretty soon, this whole no games narrative is going to end very quickly. Like you said, probably in 4 months, like when Redfall and Starfield start the release. Then it's like the no games argument is going to end because they got so many studios right now working on games right now. It's ridiculous. So, like, they can live with this whole narrative for a few more months, then it's going to be over with. This whole no games narrative that they want to hold on to so badly. PlayStation and Nintendo are the only companies left to that refuse to provide games to the masses. Yes, they dabble in PC and mobile, but the core experience has been locked on the wayside to one piece of plastic. If that ever happens for other platforms, the industry is finished. This is the most fanboy tweet of fanboy tweets. Get some help, my guy. While he claims that without PlayStation, the industry is finished, PlayStation claims that without Call of Duty, they are finished. That is pretty interesting right there because, yeah, he says all this. He says all this praise for PlayStation. PlayStation from us says that we can't really do anything without Call of Duty. So I don't know. Jim Ryan is making a different statement from this fanboy right here. This is such a weird, extremely fanboy take. Can't believe uneducated and ignorant morons believe this dribble. Believing they care about consumers is hilarious. PlayStation games don't even sell well on PlayStation. I don't understand how someone can say goofy S like this when the biggest games in the industry are the opposite of what Sony makes. Very true. That is kind of true because they brag about these big budget AAA movie like experiences that Sony exclusives really pretty much provide that they clamor about, but most people are playing free-to-play games right now. Like, the big wave is free-to-play, like Fortnite, Call of Duty, Warzone, Apex Legends. The free-to-play is pretty much dominating the market right now. Yeah, so it's like Sony is the complete opposite of that, like this guy said. So, yeah, I'm gonna include it right here. People just roasted this guy. Sony fanboys are constantly just getting roasted in the comment sections. I don't understand. Like, once again, they just make these crazy comments and then they just completely roast them for it and just have zero shame about it. So I just don't understand it. But I'm gonna include it right here. Definitely want to see your thoughts down below about this. Leave a like if you like this video, and as always, thanks for watching, and peace.